Hello, fellow gamers, and welcome to the Video Gamers Podcast. Video games are an incredible passion and hobby, but one man's trash is another man's treasure. What might be overwhelmingly positive for one person might be a big thumbs down for someone else. Today, we're going to be playing Overrated and Underrated with some of the most popular indie titles, so you can decide which of us you love and hate. But first, some introductions are in order. I am your host, Josh, and joining me, we're starting off this episode as best of friends, but depending on his answers, we might be mortal enemies by the end. It's Ryan.
You want to fight me now, bro?
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah,
How dare you?
I know what you're talking about.
One game.
Let's
as
go.
long as you do not slander my game and call it overrated, we'll be all right, Ryan.
All right.
All right. And joining us, he's the indie man himself, but there's no playing it safe in this episode. Will he invoke the wrath of the internet and speak truth, or will he try to play it safe? It's Ace.
Bring it on, baby. The truth's coming, whether you want to hear it or not.
Ace is like this whole Minecraft thing, dude. I'm a new man. Yeah, forget what people think of me, man. Just don't follow
callous.
me.
Thick skin.
Yeah,
Ace is callous now, man. Just turn up your hearing aids so you can like listen to what we're saying, and then we're good to go.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
yeah. All
I
right.
love it. I love it.
Let's see how it is.
Okay, so guys, I'm a little overexcited for this episode, man, because goodness gracious, this is gonna be one that people are gonna wind up commenting on.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Ace, I got to give you credit. This was your idea. You are a glutton for punishment, my friend, because you were like, dude, indie episode, what if we do the most overrated and underrated indie games? And then we were like, that is a slippery slope, my friend. But we have never shied away from sharing an opinion. And, that's what we're going to do today, man. We are going to take some of the most beloved indie titles out there, and we are going to decide whether they are overrated or underrated. There is no, I think it's perfectly rated, guys. This game,
there is.
No,
you
the
don't get to
rating's
pick
so
in
good.
between the lines. No,
Yeah.
you gotta go one or the other.
Yep. And then
Yep.
you got to explain yourself on top of that. So listen, I feel like this episode needs to come with a disclaimer because I know that Greg is going to make some fire reels from some hot take that
I'm
one
in
of us
so
has.
much trouble.
Yeah.
They're going to get put on the social media, and then like social media does, they're going to be like, you guys are idiots. How dare you say this game is overrated? And then we're going to be like, did you listen to the whole episode? And of course they didn't listen to the whole episode.
No,
Look,
they didn't. I can tell you
we're
they
not
didn't.
saying that these games are bad games. In fact, these might be some of the best indie games in existence.
All timers.
That's
Yep.
not the question. The question is, do you feel like this game is overrated, or do you feel like it's actually underrated a little bit? Because that can happen too. And so, yes, it's going to be hot takey. Yes, it's going to be a little bit controversial, but that is the fun of it. We've got some honorable mentions that we're going to mention later on because I have a game that I am a couple actually that I am absolutely against the flow on.
You'll make some enemies with those ones. I can promise you
That's
now.
fine.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
fine, man. I can take the heat, man. I can take it. But yes, so let's just preface this by us saying we understand these games are fantastic. We are not slandering these games whatsoever. In fact, I'm pretty sure with the exception of one game, maybe two games, actually now that I look at it, 3 games that are on this list that I adore, except for these 3 games, which I think maybe are not quite so. I'm going to get in trouble, guys.
You are, because you're too
Yeah.
honest.
You are, buddy.
Oh, man. Well,
Here we go.
Let's just start it off, guys. I mean, if people are going to hate me, let's make them hate me right off the rip, guys.
Right away.
Okay,
All right,
right
let's go.
away.
Rip
Let's
the Band-Aid off.
First game up. This is a game that we have all played. Stardew Valley. Okay,
Together,
now
boys. Say it together.
One of the things that we're going to do is we're going to tell you the score so that people can see how beloved these games are. Okay. And to be fair to our console gamers, we pulled the Metacritic scores as well as the Steam scores. So on Steam, Stardew Valley is sitting at an insane 98%
Crazy.
overwhelmingly positive rating. We don't have the totals on this, but I saw it. It's like 750,000 reviews, dude. I feel like
Jeez.
so many people in the world have played Stardew Valley. It's sitting at an 89 on Metacritic. The one thing I've realized is Metacritic people are harsh, dude. Like, listen, PC gamers, 98%. Stardew Valley is one of the best games ever made. Metacritic people like, I don't know how to feel about playing this on my console. Like, dude, what is it with the console people? Y'all some hard to please, man. 89% on Metacritic. You're going to see this for every game we talk about. Every game. It's like massive Steam rating, Metacritic.
Nah, not for me. Not for me.
Like,
Well, it's called Metacritic, so
Yeah.
All right, listen, I have made no qualms about this, so I'm just going to kick it off. I think Stardew Valley is insanely overrated, dude. It is one of the games that I think is the most overrated game in existence. So we're just starting this episode off on fire. I know people are like, dude, Josh, you are the dumbest guy I have ever seen or heard. I hate you right now. And listen, I get it. I get that people love their little farming sims, and I get they love their little pixel graphics, and I get that they love the little blob slaughter fest that happens in the dungeons, and I like that they like their little dating sims where you get to talk to the little people in the town and try to give them presents and all that. Dude, Stardew Valley is one of the most mind-numbing games I think I have ever played. Like, do I like farming? Sure. Do I like growing crops? Sure. Does that make this one of the highest rated games of all time? No.
apparently you're wrong about that.
Listen, this has always been a hot take of mine, always, and I will stand up for it. I probably played Stardew Valley for a solid like 8 hours. This is not a game that I put like 40 minutes into and went, no, this isn't for me. Somebody help me understand, dude. What is the love for this game?
You're not gonna find it for me.
Yeah, you ain't gonna find it here, unfortunately, either.
Wait.
I think it's overrated.
Am I amongst
as heck,
friends?
man. Yeah, I think it's overrated as heck.
Is this my safe spot?
You are in a safe.
You're among
We're in the trust
safety.
tree. We're in the trust tree right now. It is wildly overrated. What I mean, just like you don't have to be a graphic snob to just hate on this. It's the graphics are ridiculous. It's a cozy game. What is that code for? Just like
Boring.
not trying, like boring to like make something that's just meh. So I mean, I get it. We're gonna get a million messages of how horrible it is. Hopefully because that's engagement.
Yeah, I know. So much trouble. Wait,
It's
three
just,
old men hate on most beloved game of all time.
Why would you want to waste your time playing this? Like it's so. I understand that there's aspects that make people feel good and kind of just can sit back and unwind, but that doesn't make an amazing game. It just makes something that it's good for you.
You tell me you don't like to do your virtual chores every day, Ryan, and go talk to all the people in the town and build relationships in the game instead of in real life.
One thing I like to do after chores at the house is more chores virtually,
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, it's not an indie game, but The Sims.
Yeah.
It was good for its time back in like the late 90s, early 2000s. Why are people still playing The Sims, dude?
Because it's got
ridiculous.
vampires and werewolves too.
Yeah,
so
well,
at least it has
crazy.
something.
It's the sandbox element. I get it. Listen, so Stardew Valley, and this is a thing. Cozy games are not for me. My wife absolutely loves cozy games, dude. In fact, it's one of the few like genres that she'll actually play. Like she's playing the Kirby's Dream Island or whatever the Kirby cozy game knockoff of Animal Crossing is. And she loves it, dude. She loves it. This is her piece and I love that for her. And this is not to slander cozy games as a genre because I get it. A lot of times after a hard day's work and you want to just de-stress, this is the perfect way to do it. But the goal of this episode, is it overrated or is it underrated? And it sounds to us like we all agree that Stardew Valley is overrated. Now,
Overrated.
with that said, it's not a bad video game, and I get it.
No.
There's a lot of aspects of the game that people like, and when you put them all together, people really, really love it. So not slandering Stardew Valley, just saying It's an overrated video game.
It's
people.
overrated.
It's an overrated
It's
video
overrated. It's still good. It's overrated. It's not.
It could
for
be a good
a lot of
game.
people.
It could be a good
Yeah.
game and enjoyable for a lot of people, but that doesn't mean the score reflects that. Is what we're saying.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got that one out of the way, boys.
Next.
If anybody is still
Next.
listening
I'll
to
say
this
for all the
episode-
listeners still here.
All right, let's move on to guys. Here's the problem. Every one of these games is beloved. Every single one of these is beloved. So if we say overrated on any of these, like people are going to be like, "What do you mean it's overrated? How dare you?"
Oh, torches and pitchforks are coming.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go on to another one, man.
Here we go.
Oh, my
Here it
goodness.
comes.
Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight. Quite possibly one, in my opinion, quite possibly one of the best Metroidvanias in existence. I remember going into Hollow Knight thinking I was not going to like this game. I don't care for Metroidvanias that much. What's up with the weird little bug mask that this little guy wears and all this stuff? And then Hollow Knight just started to suck me in with its super good environment. The controls are tight as anything, dude. It's responsive. The boss fights were like, what? These stupid
Yeah.
praying mantis 3 things are kicking my booty over and over. Like, how dare you? And then I just realized, dude, Hollow Knight is legit, dude. It is one of the most beloved Metroidvanias. Silk Song, we're getting it this year.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
Supposedly.
I still can't believe that.
I'll believe it when I actually see it and it has an
Yeah.
actual release date, guys, instead of just 2025.
Fair.
All right. Hollow Knight sitting at a 97% rating on Steam. Again, these are hundreds of thousands of reviews. This is not just a couple. Oddly enough, a 90 on Metacritic. So at least people appreciate
still
a
stayed
better
pretty
video
high.
game than Stardew Valley. You know?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm gonna get myself in trouble here. Okay, now here's the kicker: you're not allowed to say 97% is perfect. So is Hollow Knight overrated at a 97%, or is it underrated at a 97%? Ace?
Oh gosh, here it comes. So, in my time as an indie gamer, I've played lots of Metroidvanias.
Your
and I
favorite
just-
genre?
It is
that
my
fair to
favorite
say?
genre.
Yes. Okay.
And I've just got to say, at this point in my life, I think Hollow Knight is a little overrated. There's better Metroidvanias.
Oh my goodness! Get this man off the show.
What?
Get this man off this podcast right now. How dare you, Ace? How dare you?
There's better Metroidvanias with better mechanics that deserve a higher spot than Hollow
Name
Knight,
one.
in my opinion. Ender Lilies and Ender Magnolia. There's two. One will also
Well,
throw
of
out
course he's gonna
Blasphemous.
name
I knew
those.
you
Let's
were
not
gonna
forget
say-
Blasphemous. Blasphemous is an incredible Metroidvania that nobody pays attention to. But
Okay.
yeah, you know, it's a pretty game and it's beautiful, and I don't think it's bad by any means. But at this point in my life, I'm going to say it's overrated.
Okay.
Come on.
Wow. Wow.
Wild take. Wow.
Oh,
Ryan?
I guess I am
Ryan's like,
not
yeah, I
among
agree.
friends. Oh, okay.
I actually am going to say that I do agree. As amazing, listen. As amazing as Hollow Knight is, a 97% based on our parameters, if I was to say that's pretty fair, that's not allowed. And I can't go higher than that because there is some issues that I have. I hate the map systems in Metroidvanias. Hollow Knight is also one of them. Certain other mechanics that I wasn't a big fan of within the game. I can't say that it's any better than what it's been rated, so I have to go with it's overrated for me, but not by much. I think it's an amazing game. It's one of my absolute favorite Metroidvanias, and I'm a big Metroidvania guy. Castlevania's in one of my top 10, probably a little bit nostalgia based on that, but it's also amazing. So, yeah, overrated, brother.
Wow.
I think
Well,
Josh
yeah.
will be looking for some new podcast hosts.
Yeah. Well, listen, guys. You know, here's my criteria. What is the best Metroidvania that I have played in almost forever? Hollow Knight. It's the Metroidvania that I think I enjoy the most, unless we're going to go way, way back to like the old Nintendo days, you know, where it was just straight up Metroid. But again, probably some nostalgia involved there. To me, Hollow Knight is the best Metroidvania that I have played. I am actually going to say I think it's underrated. If freaking Stardew Valley is sitting at a 98%, and that game is boring and not fun, then Hollow Knight, which perfected the Metroidvania genre, in my opinion, incredible environments, incredible music. Again, the gameplay is top notch. Is it a perfect game? No, it is not, but that's where that 2% or 3% comes off at the top. But I am going to actually say that I think Hollow Knight is actually underrated, because to me, it's the best Metroidvania out there.
It feels like such a crazy thing to say Hollow Knight's underrated.
I
feel
know,
like
right?
When you think of indie games, like that's like one of the first that comes to mind. You're just like,
It is.
oh yeah, you should play Hollow Knight. But it's like,
yeah, I mean, it's true. But and see, that's the weird caveat, right? Because it's like, do you like Metroidvanias? Like, if you love them, like you, Ace, you have experienced dozens and dozens and dozens of Metroidvanias. So you have that ability to say, while I love what Hollow Knight does, I think there's actually some better Metroidvanias out there. For
it's been innovated
me,
on.
I don't play a ton of Metroidvanias. So when I think of the genre and the peak of that genre, Hollow Knight is easily the game that comes to mind. And then I go, well, if that's like the absolute peak Metroidvania to me, you know, is it 100%? It's not quite 100%, let's be honest, but I do.
Yeah.
And again, I can't say that I think it's a fair rating because that's lame and that's against the rules. So I'm going to say I think it's underrated, man.
Yeah,
Love it.
fair enough.
Yeah. So, okay. Now, I know this is a game that all three of us love, but this is where the rating system comes in, is do we think it's a fair rating? Do we think it's underrated, or do we think it's overrated? And that is a game that we all adore. Risk of Rain 2.
Yeah!
Risk of Rain 2. I made a little video on it saying, hey, this is one of the best roguelikes that you can play with friends. We have played Risk of Rain 2 together many, many a time. For a long time. It is an absolute blast to play. It made our list of some of the funnest video games that you can play. I think it's just a joy. I mean, it is an absolute joy of a game. The Steam rating on Risk of Rain 2, 93%, 85% Metacritic. Ryan, what do you think, buddy, for Risk of Rain 2 at a 90? I mean, let's be honest. Any indie developer in the world releases a game and it gets a 93%. They are doing cartwheels. They are celebrating. They're toasting champagne.
Yeah.
This studio is just having a party. But is Risk of Rain 2 overrated or underrated at a 93%, Ryan?
I think at a 93% with over, over 209,000.
Hundreds of thousands of reviews.
Hundreds of thousands of reviews. Well established what people think of this game. I think it's actually underrated. I think that it's probably should be sitting a little bit more up there with the other games that we've mentioned earlier. 95, 96, 97, something like that. There is not too many roguelike, just hop in, have fun runs with your buddies, and it's never a bad time. Even when you get a bad run, it's never a bad time. This game is one of those that just is pure enjoyment, start to finish, every time you log in. And, you know, there's not much more you can say about it other than it's a great game. It's not good, it's great.
I have to agree. I think that Risk of Rain 2 is completely underrated. At 93, that feels like a crime, honestly, with how good this game is and how much it like innovates on the roguelike genre. Because like, how many roguelikes do you know that are like in a 3D environment like that you could play with friends too? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, and the co-op is so good. Like, that's the other nature of it. Like, you can play this game solo and it's fun, but when you're with your buddies, that nature of like you can't share all the gear becomes part of it, where it's like, I'm over here, Ryan's over there, and Ace is over there. We're all looking at stuff, and I just found this sweet, sweet loot. I know Ryan needs those mushrooms for his build that he's working on, but those are my mushrooms, boy.
Yeah. Oh, you can expect it. Yeah. Josh's going to stink everything. You know, that's the usual.
I mean, it's just the way that it goes. So yes, I'm going to make this unanimous. I think Risk of Rain 2 at a 93% is honestly drastically underrated at that point.
Yep.
When people say, hey, I don't really know what the roguelike genre is, I haven't really gotten into them, Risk of Rain 2 is one of those games that is like a first recommendation for somebody. You know, it's cheap, it's fun, it's a blast with friends, it will get you hooked into the roguelike loop. The fact that you have all these classes that you can unlock, and then even the skills within the classes to unlock with these neat little challenges and stuff, I think is the perfect carrot to dangle in front of somebody. Risk of Rain 2 to me is insanely fun, dude. And a 93% I think does not do that game justice at all.
Agreed.
I
100%
get it's
agreed.
not for everybody. It is an action-based kind of shooter type game, and it can be pure chaos at times. And so I get it. That does not appeal to everybody, just like Stardew Valley doesn't appeal to me. But if you are the kind of gamer that likes action and stuff with friends and you haven't played Risk of Rain 2, stop what you're doing and pick this game up, because we recommend it to everybody, dude. Like, legitimately.
You're missing out.
Yeah.
This one's going to be tough, boys. This is going to be real hard, but we're going to talk about this one right after this break. Oh my goodness. Okay, guys. Why are we doing this to ourselves? There's no good that can come of this episode, dude.
Pain
People
and
are going to
misery.
disagree with us. They're going to hate us, and they're going to be like, I can't believe you guys did this.
I thrive on the pain and
I
misery.
mean, okay. Hades. Quite possibly one of the most well-known roguelike games in existence. When you say roguelike, Hades is right there. I mean, if it's not a genre-defining game, I don't know what is. Hades burst onto the scene. Everybody in the world was talking about Hades. Oh my goodness, this game's so good. The dialogue, the game remembers how you died. The progression, the combat's top-notch. Everything about this game is insanely good. Well, the rating reflects that because it's a 98% on Steam. And again, we are talking, I think Hades is up there at like 600,000, 700,000 reviews. This is no slouch of a game. I have played a lot of Hades, dude. I love Hades. I'm going to be honest with you right now. I love Hades. I think it's so much fun. It is the perfection of what the roguelike genre is. I'm gonna say it.
Do it.
I'm
Do
gonna
it.
say it.
Huh?
I think it's overrated, guys.
Oh,
I
What?
think Hades is overrated. While there is so
Clipping
much to
that.
love about the game, 98% is crazy, dude. It's crazy. I mean, what am I gonna say? It's a 99% perfect game. Like, that's really hard to do. As much as I love Hades, I do think it is a tad overrated.
Well, if Stardew Valley can be a 98% and people think that's fine, I think Hades is underrated because it is absolutely a 99 or 100. Because aside from where Hollow Knight, where I have played other Metroidvanias that are way better. Yeah, sorry, Hollow Knight fans.
He's just digging that hole there.
I know. I'm really digging. I'm twisting the knife real good there. I have not played another roguelike, hand-drawn roguelike like Hades with this much detail and this much dialogue and beautiful artwork that tops it. Like, nothing has topped Hades in the roguelike genre for me when it comes to these top-down perspectives.
Yeah, that's fair. I
have to say it's underrated.
There's one of there. It's over or under, so we can't just say appropriately rated. I'm gonna have to side with Josh on this one. I think as amazing as this game is, as much as it offers, and as beautiful as this game is, I think that there's only 2% if it's at a 98, man, that's dang near perfect. There is some issues with it, and I think that 98's just a little bit too high, and with no other choice, I have to go overrated.
You're one of the Metacritic users, Ryan.
Yeah.
I bet you are.
I will say this.
93.
Hades is the highest rated game on Metacritic in our list. So people universally love Hades more than any other game that we are talking about today. So,
And this is not to take away from any of these games.
Yes.
It's like, hey, 98, 97, whatever it is perfect. That's a great score. We can't do that. We have to go over or under. Do I think it deserves more than that? No. Less, 2 less, 3 less, whatever your percentage ratio is, I don't think that it deserves what it got. I would say a little bit less, but not by much. I mean, it's an amazing game.
My one complaint with Hades, not to get into but the progression system, the permanent progression system in Hades does not feel super rewarding to me.
You've never cared about progression. What are you talking about?
I'm just saying, I like the weapons. I like that you can try out the different weapons and stuff, but the permanent progression in Hades is a little bit slow paced for me. And I think that's why I'm going to lean to the side of, I think it's slightly overrated. It's a fantastic game. And honestly, I've kind of had the itch to play it again too. So might wind up doing that. But all right. This one's going to be, I'm this one I think is going to be, is
That's everyone.
I know it really is. Let's just go with it. Lethal Company. I mean,
Dude.
Lethal Company took the world by storm. The three of us have played a heck of a lot of Lethal Company together. You
So
will
much.
laugh. You
Yep.
will have experiences and stories and all that stuff. Lethal Company sitting at a 97% on Steam. There's no Metacritic score for Lethal Company because I guess it's technically still early access or something.
Yeah,
Hasn't been
is
fully
still, yeah.
released. So, I mean, a game that comes out that is as simple in design and gameplay as Lethal Company and hits a 97% is bananas, dude.
Yeah.
And then we've seen so many knockoffs of this. I mean, you know, headliners and content warning and everything else. But Lethal Company came out, changed the gaming world. They kind of did it first. I know Among Us was like, but it's a different style of game at that point. Ace, I know you're a big fan of Lethal Company.
I am a big fan of Lethal.
Is it underrated or overrated at a 97%?
At a 97%, I'm going to have to say it's overrated.
No!
Unfortunately.
I'm shocked. I actually kind of thought you were going to say it's
I
underrated.
think it is the genre that Lethal is, which I call it the horror extraction genre, because that's like, I guess what you would consider it, has been innovated on since Lethal with games like Repo. Repo has sort of taken what Lethal did, and it's made it based around this physics engine where things have weight, and you have to carry them with basically a carries mod physics gun, excuse me. And I think that makes that a little bit more special than what Lethal does. And that's just me, but I know me and Ryan still get into Lethal like all the time.
I was going to say, I was really curious what y'all's two thoughts on this were, because I see you guys going like, you want to hop into Lethal and play a round or two?
So we do, and we've played quite a bit together. And man, I love me some Lethal Company. Ace and I have had a million crazy. We have a couple clips on our Instagram where like we got no loot for like 3 runs, and we're like, what the heck? And then I see a bunch of stuff, and I just get so excited that I run to it, and then I just explode because I stepped on a landmine. I didn't see it. And then Ace is making fun of me. Yeah, Ryan, no, boom, and he's like, oh, loot, and that's me running to it. So the game, man, it is just so enjoyable, so fun, and it's amazing. And it shows how good graphics do not make a game. Like, you can have an amazing game that doesn't have great graphics. Having said that, I think good graphics would definitely put it over the top to where it would be deserved of a 97. I think that it is overrated. I think that the gameplay itself and what you do is amazing and awesome, but there's a lot of upgrades and advancements and quality of life things that could be had to get it up to that score. So I don't think it deserves a 97, but I don't want to take anything away from what the game is.
No,
that's fair.
I wouldn't either.
That's
I know. I feel like I already know what Josh's thoughts are.
You guys know. I think it's overrated. That's not to say I haven't had a ton of fun playing Lethal Company, but I have a problem with this genre in general because it is dumb fun, and you will have an absolute blast, dude. Like Headliners, dude. Headliners cost us, what, $7?
Yeah, it was
played
$7
for a weekend. I think I had 4 gaming sessions. I laughed like crazy. It was super funny. I got my money's worth, and then I just went, this game's going in the trash like every other game. Like, you know, I mean, and I don't mean that to slander the game. What I mean is these are disposable games, in my opinion, where it's like, it is fun. I'm not slandering Lethal Company. I'm not saying that it's not fun, and I get that people love it, and that's fantastic. And yes, like video games should be fun, but sometimes you need a little bit more than that to get up into that like upper echelon of games for me. And so 97% rating, I think, is kind of crazy. Is it dumb fun? Absolutely. Would I recommend people pick it up and play it? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Do I think it's a 97% rating on like overall? Like, no, I don't think it's that. So for me, this is an easy, this game is overrated for sure. So,
okay, hold on.
I'm surprised we're all in agreement on this one.
Over or under 90?
Oh, yeah.
For you, Josh.
I'm going to say if it was at a 90%, I think I'm still going to say it's overrated.
Really?
I think 90 or 91 is perfect.
This is not to say that it's
91
not a good game. I just, it's a dumb, simple game that is a lot of fun for a very short period of time. And to me, that my personal opinion is that brings it down, because it's
Yeah.
hard to claim that this game that is a disposable game is in this upper echelon of other games like Hollow Knight and Hades and even Risk of Rain and some of the other games that we're about to talk about. Where I go, these are fantastic video games all around, versus this one game that does something very, very well, but it's so short-lived and it's so repetitive after that it just falls apart, in my opinion.
And with I have a feeling that it wouldn't be as high probably if there wasn't the ability with all the mods.
The mod,
Yeah,
is
that-
definitely
The ability
what
to
kept that
mod
game
in the
alive.
modding community for what you can do to change this game and tailor it to your customized pleasure, like that makes such a big difference in how people grade this game probably as well. So
Ryan got to have that infinite sprint.
Yeah. All right, guys. I will hear no slander on this next game, so watch yourselves.
Boy.
Subnautica, one of my favorite games. And the reason that I say this, and I've said this before, Subnautica is the game that taught me. I literally did not know this about myself, that I absolutely love survival crafting exploration games. I had not played any before Subnautica. I remember seeing the hype and I went, this game looks beautiful. I dove in, and I fell in love. And I've been in love with that genre ever since.
idiot.
Ace, we're playing Enshrouded. We would not be playing Enshrouded if it wasn't for the fact that Subnautica taught me, Josh, you really like this genre of games. Is it a saturated genre? Yes, it is. I can fully
Yes.
appreciate that too. But Subnautica did it best, in my opinion. Maybe, I don't know. I don't want to lump that in there. But Subnautica is sitting at a 97% rating on Steam.
Same as
and
Lethal.
87%. Yeah, dude, what the heck? Thank you, Ace. What the heck, man? Subnautica is the same rating as Lethal Company. What is wrong with you people? I'm just gonna say it. Subnautica, to me, one of my favorite games. I'm not. This is weird because it kind of gets into like the Oscar nominations, where it's like, are you saying that this is the best game ever, or are you saying that it did something very well? It's tough for me because I get it's not a perfect game. It does have some issues, but for me, I think 97% is actually underrated, dude. Subnautica is one of those most, it ranks up there with like the most memorable games that people have played and remembered. I get it's not for everybody, but I do think it, for what it does absolutely top notch, and you will remember Subnautica. I think it's underrated.
I have
how
to
can
agree.
how can you say that? I get it's not for everybody when it's at a 97%.
For most.
Like that literally
It's for
means
most
it's
people.
supposed to be for everybody.
I mean, well, Ryan, you
Oh.
played Subnautica, and I have a feeling that you're probably going to say you think it's overrated at 97%.
Well, I would say that you had a good feeling because
Yeah.
you were correct. Because I think it is overrated. I will say not by much. I really did enjoy my time with Subnautica. I do think it's genuinely like, if you're looking to dive into to one of these kind of survival crafting type games, this is a really good one to start. The world is beautiful. Your experiences are memorable. I think that it's just, man, 97 is really
high
it's
up
a
there, dude.
really high score.
Yeah, I
So
know.
it's, we can only do underrated or overrated. So I'm gonna say it's overrated, but not by much.
Okay.
I'm gonna say it's underrated. Just
Whoa!
I agree, it's underrated.
Ace,
just-
the next time you get Dove and Rivals, I'm peeling for you, buddy.
Oh, thank God,
Okay.
someone will. Oh,
Oh, hold on.
it's rough out here with the healer strike, you know.
Yeah, maybe if you
Yeah.
healed me, then I'd
Yeah.
be more, apt to come back and help you.
Oh, you're the tank. You'll be fine. But no, I definitely think Subnautica is underrated, especially with how saturated the genre's become with these
That's true.
survival games. Subnautica really stands out as something special with its its setting and the gameplay and the story too. Like, I mean, it's all really good.
How you can
Yeah.
make
It
a
scares
game
the crap
that's
out of me though.
fully
Yeah.
underwater and make it that interesting and good. It's like, how is the ocean interesting? But they make it interesting. All the
It's
different
super
biomes.
cool to explore all of
Yeah.
it. Also, what is wrong with Metacritic? 87.
Yeah, that's a crime.
That's pretty wild. That's
a
low.
It is
crime.
crazy.
You
That
Metacritic
is-
people, cheer up, man. Cheer up, people.
Yeah.
All right, well, since we're talking about under the water games, how about this one? Beloved game, Dave the Diver, came out of nowhere. I remember hearing the hype on Dave the Diver,
97.
everybody was like, it's like a throwback to like games of old. It's got this pixel art, which kind of threw me off at first. I'm not gonna lie.
Of course it did. Of course it did.
And then, hey, I'll be honest. I think it's beautiful. I will admit I was fully wrong. I think Dave the Diver is a beautiful game. But this game came out of nowhere, really took the world by storm. Dave the Diver sitting at a 97%, so equal to Subnautica, equal to Hollow Knight. I mean, absolutely beloved game. We have all played Dave the Diver. Ace, what do you think on Dave the Diver sitting at a 97%? Overrated or underrated?
Dave is definitely underrated, man. Dave is so good, and there's so much content in that game that you could be playing right now. You be silent.
I will be silent. I'm going to let you finish this ramble you're going to go on real quick.
Oh, ramble. Is that what it is?
Oh, man. We know how Ryan feels.
Do we know, like, what game do you know got a crossover with Yakuza and Godzilla? Ryan, huh?
That doesn't mean it's good.
All right.
What's up with him?
Okay, listen. I loved Dave the Diver. I thought it was so much fun. I thought it was an extremely enjoyable game. I had a blast playing it. I thought the interactions with the characters were great. I think the crossover with the Yakuza and Godzilla are wild and fun as well. It is not a 97, dude. That is to have it rated with, like, as Josh just said with the other games, like with Subnautica. That's crazy to me. It was awesome. It was fun, but it is not a 97. Overrated. Stamp it.
Wow.
Fans, I have a request that you kill Ryan.
Stamp it.
Well, this one, man. All right, listen. Dave the Diver, to me, was the perfect throwback video game. The little mini games, the pixel art, it just draws you in right away. Like, I don't know anybody that played Dave the Diver that's been like, I don't get it, dude. Like, even if you have fun for like 5 hours, you still have a blast at 5 hours.
And they're so mean to him.
Yeah, why are they so mean?
You're like, come on, Dave.
To him too, apparently.
Poor Dave.
I don't know, man. So I absolutely love Dave the Diver. I think it's a fantastic game. It is overrated.
Yeah!
It is overrated. And that breaks my heart, dude. That breaks my heart. I do not say this with like joy like freaking Ryan over there does. But
I'm being real, bro.
But listen, again, this is not to slander the game because I love Dave the Diver.
Same. Yeah,
but
same.
97% is a little high, dude. It does everything great, but it does start to slog just a little bit, dude. That is my biggest problem. I love the first like 6 hours of Dave the Diver, but then it kind of gets a little bit more into like the farming sim. Like you have to work a lot harder for the upgrades, and the story kind of stalls out a little bit. And I kind of went like, it hurts me, Ace. It hurts me.
Dave
I don't want to be on this side of the fence with Ryan, but
it
I
is
have
so
to
good.
be honest.
Oh. It is so good, but
there's
we're
no
just
game
saying
like
it's not
Dave out there.
It's not 97% good. That's all we're saying.
It's like 96% good, to be honest. Like I know we can't, but
you don't think it's 98% good?
No, I don't. Unfortunately,
No.
I know.
That's Stardew Valley levels of good.
Yeah, don't compare it to Stardew Valley. How dare you? How dare you slander Dave the Diver like that? All right, listen. Here's another game that does what it does absolutely to perfection. Is it enough to make it underrated? I don't know. This one's probably the hardest one for me, to be honest with you. Cuphead, quite possibly the most perfect shooter, like what do you call those games? The running guns? Like
it's a running gun boss
What's
battle.
the genre? Yeah, running gun.
Boss rush.
Right? So Cuphead, incredible art style, peak mechanics, insanely difficult, crazy bosses. I mean, it is perfection for what it tries to do. Like, honestly, we don't have Celeste on this list, but Celeste is perfection for platformer, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but like, so for me, Cuphead is that like perfect game for what it's trying to do. Cuphead is sitting at a 96% on Steam, 86% Metacritic. People don't like hard games on Metacritic, apparently, because this is not the lowest game, but close. Ryan, what do you think on Cuphead? Overrated, underrated, 96%.
So this one, you mentioned it, man. The art style, there's just something so unique and different about this, and it's one of those games that just kind of transcended a lot to where a lot of people that had no clue of the gaming world knew about Cuphead because, everybody knew about Cuphead. I think this is one of the rare ones for me that I think it's underrated. I think it is so crisp and clean and just pure for what it is that it should just be a little bit higher. Like we said, not a 97 and 96. I don't think it should be a 97, 6. It could be a 97, something like that. It's just like one or two ticks above. I think it's right there. It is an amazing game that everybody should definitely check out. If it's hard, try again. Reload.
I did not expect that from Ryan.
I wouldn't either,
Underrated
because
on Cuphead at 96%, man. Wow. All right.
That's crazy. I was not
Wild card. Whoa.
Yeah. What about
until
you,
today,
Ace?
I didn't even know you played Cuphead. So
Yeah.
I have. Yep.
Now, I feel like Ace would like Cuphead. You do not shy away from difficult games, Ace.
I have played Cuphead.
Yeah.
I think it is completely overrated.
Oh,
I think it's a beautiful game.
yeah.
I think the sound design and the artwork and all that is super crisp, super pretty, super great. And that the sacrifice the devs made to get that game out there by like mortgaging their houses like 3 times or whatever just to get that game made is super great and all. But like that game just doesn't deserve it. It's not
doesn't do it?
accessible enough to people, I think, to the point where it deserves that high a score. I could see a 95. But I'm definitely not on the side of the Metacritic users who put it at 86.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
tough. Wow.
crazy.
The problem for Ace is that it didn't have enough rats.
That is true.
That's
It's-
Actually, there was a rat. He was a boss in the game.
it just
He was
wasn't
German.
enough of them. Needs more rats. It's Ace's notes, like his game notes. Needs more rats.
This one's so hard for me, man, because like I said, if you take what Cuphead is trying to do, it does it perfectly. It's like Hollow Knight in that regard, right? Like if
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
what is the perfect run and gun shooter throwback type game, but modern, Cuphead is absolutely it. And so I kind of go like, well, if I'm saying that Hollow Knight is underrated for being one of the best Metroidvanias in existence, then Cuphead is probably underrated for being one of the best run and gun shooters in existence. Is it underrated because if you want that genre, it is pretty much perfection, or is it overrated because it's still a simplistic game overall, and it's like it does start to get a little repetitive because you're doing the same thing just against different bosses and levels. And I told you, this is the one that on this list is the hardest for me.
I think it's appropriately scored. That's the problem.
Yeah, but we can't say that.
Yeah, we
So
can't say that though. So
I am going to say I think Cuphead is overrated.
Oh,
that hurt
Overrated,
him.
But man,
that did
I
like
don't.
psychic damage to him.
It did. But I think I lean that way, man. And
Yeah.
again, this isn't to say anything bad about Cuphead, but 96%. Like I played the heck out of it. We did a deep dive on Cuphead. Paul beat like the hardest level and everything, and I was like, Paul, what the heck, man? Like, and I enjoyed the heck out of it. Don't get me wrong, but I don't go to bed at night like thinking about Cuphead like I do Subnautica or Hollow Knight, or Hades even, or something like that. So
Yeah.
that kind of tells me I think it's probably tiny estimates overrated. Yeah, exactly.
People are gonna be like, "What are you talking about?" We're like, "No, listen, we're talking about like 1 or 2%.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
that's
a
it.
1 or 2%. We're
We're
not on the side
saying
of the
it's
Metacritic
bad.
users.
We're not saying it's bad. Yeah, we're not Metacritic.
Oh man.
I promise.
All right. Disco Elysium, guys. One of the most well-known success stories for the indie genre and a role-playing game that doesn't have combat. What the heck were you thinking, people? And there was a whole bunch of text you had to read, and then they came out with the director's cut that put incredible voiceover on this game. I went into Disco Elysium thinking I was going to hate it. Turns out I freaking love it. I am going to just jump in and say that the 93% that Disco Elysium has is criminal. This is one of the most memorable, best RPGs that you can play. You have to just experience it. I really don't know how to explain Disco Elysium otherwise, but just the fact that you can do all of these things in this game and it just keeps chugging along is insane to me. So I think 93% is criminally underrated.
I agree completely. 93 is way, way, way too low for Disco Elysium. There's no other game like Disco Elysium out there that can do what it does without combat. It's all takes place basically in Harry's head. What's going on?
Yeah.
The first time you boot it up, it's like, limbic system. You just know it's super freaking weird and it's going to be a great time.
You're talking to doors before you know it.
Yeah.
Inanimate objects and
wandering around like, what the heck? You know,
that's right, Harry. You're a superstar.
I think pre-director's cut without the voiceovers, 93% is overrated.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Yeah. It totally turned me off of the game in the beginning, and then once they released that, and then Paul and Josh, to their credit, were like, no, they got the director's cut now. You can like, there's voiceover work, so you don't have to read everything. And I'm like, say less, homie, I'm in. So I went and I played it, and I fell in love with that game. There's so much to love in there. 93% is again criminal. That's wildly underrated, you know, for what it is with the voiceover work.
91% on Metacritic, one of the higher games on Metacritic in this list. Actually second highest, only behind Hades. So Disco Elysium, you're missing out if you haven't played it. Again, don't be like me. I thought no combat, what the heck, I'm not going to like this at all. And boy, was I pleasantly surprised. So,
dang Cujo.
Yeah.
Kuno?
All right.
Or Kuno, yeah. I always call him Cujo for some reason.
Cujo, you do. I just let you roll with it because I know exactly
whatever.
who you're talking about. Yeah. All right. Not quite as a well-known game, but man, this game did garner a lot of attention when it came out. Dredge is the last one on our official list before we get to a few honorable mentions. Dredge, horror fishing? Like what?
Horror fishing.
What the heck is horror fishing? How does this work? But I played Dredge. I had an absolute great time with it. Sitting at a 95% on Steam, 80 on Metacritic. So again, those Metacritic people, harsh on Dredge.
Harsh.
The lowest Metacritic score out of any of these games. Ace, you're a big fan of Dredge. I think you're the one that actually got me to play Dredge.
Yeah.
So is it underrated or overrated at 95%?
I'm going to preference this by saying Dredge is probably one of my favorite games, like ever. But near the end, it really starts to drag, and you hit that wall, and you hit it hard. So I'm gonna have to say it's a little bit overrated.
Oh, you heard it here, folks.
Wow.
Ace hates Dredge.
Wow.
No, you heard it here
Slandering
first.
Dredge, Ace.
Devs are on the phone.
and the developer listens to our show and has to
Every
hear you
day?
say
Oh
that
my
on the
God.
indie episode. Oh my!
Maybe we could send him
man.
to Indian 60 instead.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
goodness gracious.
Found on our Instagram. Go check it out.
All right. Well, overrated. Ace hates Dredge. We all heard that. So Ryan, what about you, buddy?
Well, I don't know what
you
you're going to say.
also hate really good video games?
Apparently so, because Dredge is not a 95. I love Dredge. I think the atmosphere is amazing. It's talk about a cozy game that you just want to kind of sink into, but it's actually fun, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
But anyways, Dredge is not a 95. It's just a kind of clear-cut, simple. It's just overrated.
Man, you two guys are harsh, dude. Wow.
Oh, no.
I fit right
We're
in with you
Metacritic
guys, 'cause
reviewers,
Dredge
didn't
is
you know?
Overrated. Listen, Dredge is a
I'm not-
fantastic video game. It is a lot of fun to play. I think it does what it does very well, but man, it's like, are we just so hungry for just a good video game that we elevated up to like higher levels because it didn't have a lot of flaws to it? I like Dredge a lot. Do not hear what we are not saying. I think this game would appeal to a wide range of gamers. And again, this is one of those ones where if you haven't played it, you probably will like it. I don't know anybody that dislikes Dredge.
Yeah.
And maybe that's elevating it to like a level that is kind of like, I don't know if it belongs way up here in this upper echelon of games. So at a 95%, I will say I do think it's overrated, but it is a heck of a game that I think has mass appeal to a lot of people, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're hopefully we'll see with, what is it, Dreadmore?
Yeah,
Dreadmore,
Dreadmore.
That's going to be like a
yes.
first-person dredge, which
Is
would
that going to be
you know,
like, oh, this is so much better?
It's like,
or is it gonna be
okay,
like-
this is what I wanted. Yeah.
or is it going to be
no.
like, wow, Dredge
Poor
actually
Dredge.
was pretty good?
Yeah.
That's what I'm worried about. We're all just gonna look back and be like, oh wow, Dredge did it right.
Yeah, maybe. All right, listen, guys, we've got a few minutes left to really shake things up and just really make everybody hate us. And I'm going to jump in on one game. Okay, Ace, you gifted me a copy of this game. You said, Josh, if I know anything about you, you will love this game. You love roguelikes. You love good combat. You love a good difficulty curve. You gifted me a copy of Dead Cells, and I went,
Yep.
dude, I can't tell you the number of people that I have heard just tout Dead Cells as one of the best roguelikes games ever. The combat is top notch. I dove into Dead Cells, and about 4 hours later, I went, what is wrong with me? Why do I not like this game? What is happening? And I am going to be honest, Dead Cells is at a 97% overwhelmingly positive rating. I do not get it, dude. And I should love this game. It makes no sense.
You really
It
should.
makes no sense to me whatsoever. But I found Dead Cells to be insanely repetitive. I did not like how fast you could die and then just respawn, and I'm running that same stupid sewer level over and over and over again. Sure, I got a different blade, but it's all the same to me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, people. This is the only one I'm gonna apologize for. I just don't get it. I think Dead Cells is insanely overrated at a 97%. So, yeah.
Hot takes. You heard it here, folks.
Yeah, hot takes. For everyone.
I haven't played it, so I got no comment. But I'm just gonna say overrated.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
how
would
dare
hate
you,
it.
sir?
You would hate
How
it.
dare you with that hot take?
Ace, you got one that I'm scared to have you even talk about this in any kind of bad light whatsoever.
Yeah,
even
you
though
know, we
I
should be scared.
absolutely agree with you on this one because I have played this game too. But man, you're gonna catch some. I'm letting you do all talk. I'm staying out.
Yeah,
of this one.
I'll introduce that one after I say that. I have to unfortunately agree with you that Dead Cells is a little overrated. I hate to say it, but it
Ooh.
is. It's a little bit overrated when the genre is this packed with giants of the roguelike genre and even the roguelike 2D platformer genre.
Yeah, get to the good part where everybody hates you now. Ace.
All
Yeah,
right. We're bringing up a game that everyone wants us to talk about, but nobody wants to play. We're talking about Undertale.
Yep.
Well, man, sitting at what is it?
96%.
96% on Steam.
For a game that looks like it was made by a 3-year-old.
A game, yeah. Don't poke the bear.
Oh, sorry. So no. This is your bear, Ace. I forgot. Sorry.
Yeah, don't poke the bear, please. And a 92 on Metacritic. I have to say that Undertale is completely and utterly underrated. Josh, take it away. No, overrated. It is completely overrated.
I was like, wait, what?
Wait a
Did
second.
Ace just bait and switch me? Like, what just happened? Oh,
No,
man.
I think Undertale is completely overrated. It's got great music, and I know people love the story and that the whole thing is about choice and whatever. It just didn't resonate with me, and I don't think that if we didn't have like cringy teenagers in YouTube, it would be as nearly as big as it is.
Yeah.
Thank you, theater kids, for making Undertale as big as it is.
There you go. Yeah, that's
My daughter is a theater kid, and I totally get what you're saying.
He's
for
got,
sure.
he's got it, yeah.
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah. Talk about choice. I have a choice, and the choice was to not play this game. So
Yeah.
I'm sitting pretty.
Yeah.
Take it away, Josh. Don't you love
I played
Undertale?
Undertale. I'll be honest, I played it for like 3-4 hours. So in all fairness, I did not get to the heartfelt, like, oh, this game is so deep and so amazing and all that. So I fully admit I might be missing out. But man, if I can think of a game that I am so just put off on that everybody else loves, this is up there with like Stardew Valley for me. Undertale is a huge whiff for my gamer brain. I get why people love it, but man, I don't get it at all. So
All right, insert the old white guys
right?
don't know video games comments
Yeah,
now.
they don't get it, man. This is one of the best games of the generation.
Old man opinions.
Yeah.
All right, real quick, consensus opinion, last one, and then we got to get out of here. Deep Rock Galactic, a game that we have touted, a game that we have recommended to people. Rock and Stone.
Stone.
When we think about the great indie games, we got to talk about Deep Rock Galactic. 97% rating. Is it underrated or overrated? Ryan, go.
Underrated. Rock and Stone forever. I love it. I love all the iterations. I love all the side games. Underrated.
Ace?
I agree. It is completely underrated, and it's got infinite replayability, and you can play it with your friends. So underrated, Rockin' Stone.
Rock and Stone.
Underrated for me as well, but it's close, man.
It is
very
close.
close,
It's a close
to like,
line.
is it overrated?
It's a close line.
But it's just a blast of a game. And again, you can have fun with your friends. It's got a ton of great stuff. So, all right, that's it. Please don't hate us, everybody. This was all just for fun.
It's
Hate
for
all
fun,
you
know?
want. We don't care.
Yeah.
Send all hate to Ryan. He wants it.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Yeah. He's like, I want to just drown myself in the hate. All right. We hope you had fun. Listen, if we got it wrong, if we got it right, let us know. You can comment on this episode on Spotify. Leave us a comment and tell us how stupid we are or how you agree with us. And then you can face the wrath of the internet along with us.
Yep.
But man, what a good time. And again, all these games are honestly amazing, dude. No, we're not talking bad about these games. It's more just, does the rating reflect how good they really are?
Yeah.
If you haven't done so, make sure you follow the podcast. If you are still listening and haven't decided you hate us at this point, click that plus button, click that follow button, and make sure you get all of our episodes the day that they release. And if you are, like these guys are so brave to take on the world and not be afraid to talk about their opinions on these games, and you want to support this podcast, you can click the link that's in the episode description to sign up and support this show. We're going to give you a shout out on the air. We'll give you some awesome Discord perks for our incredible community as well. So check that out. Keep this podcast alive and going, and, not afraid to give these opinions, because that's
We're
just
going
what
to
they are.
find such
Just an
unfiltered opinions like this from three old men, as
Yeah,
the internet calls
exactly.
us.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the worst they're going to do? Take our walkers away from us? All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. This was a fun one. Until next time, happy gaming.
See ya.
Peace out.